Hello everyone, this is Gear12 here, and welcome back to another Minecraft vehicle tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be going ahead and building the Bf-109 G-6. The Bf-109 is one of the most iconic fighters of World War II, and also, I would say, probably one of the more successful ones. It was widely used by the Luftwaffe throughout the entirety of the war, serving from the very beginning to the very end, and was the primary fighter that they used. During the beginning of the war, it pretty much outclassed many of the aircraft out on the field. But later on, the Allied aircraft did catch up to it, and it started to become a little bit less effective, losing its edge. However, it is a absolute gorgeous fighter and one of the more iconic fighters of the war, like I said, behind that of like the P-51 or the British Spitfire. Overall, amazing aircraft. This one here is done up in the War Thunder camo. That is standard for the G6 model. So it has some pretty cool coloring and colors on it. So I always love this kind of setup for the Bf-109. I think it just gives it a really nice complement, and it looks really good in Minecraft. With that though, before we go ahead and jump into this tutorial, I do want to go ahead and talk about a few things. The first thing being is that throughout this build, I will be using a tool called the Debug Stick, which is going to only be available for my Java players. So the command will be on screen now. Go ahead and grab that Debug Stick. We'll be using it here and there throughout the build. And luckily, it's not used too much, but just a little bit here and there for some quality of life, little things that we can do to the aircraft to make it better. In addition, if you are on Java as well, we will be making use of invisible item frames. Now, you can use standard item frames throughout the build. However, these invisible item frames are just going to elevate things a lot better and just make things look just a lot better. So again, that command will be on screen at this time, and both those commands will be down in the video description if you do need to grab those for later on in the build. With that though, let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer. Alright guys, so moving into our first layer here, we will be going ahead and starting off with layer 1. Now, real quick before we jump into this tutorial, I do want to mention a quick few things, is that we will be going ahead and I am using a resource pack, so you may notice some things are going to be slightly different throughout the build. Mainly this is going to involve the gray. This darker gray color, that's deep slate in my texture pack. For you, it's going to obviously be different. I'd probably recommend using polished deep slate as an alternative on the standard default pack. But basically, we're just going to be using a dark gray block, and it doesn't take up too much of the aircraft, which is nice, but the rest of everything else should be pretty much the same. So with that, let's go ahead and get started with this. Now, the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to place down a bamboo top slab. This is going to be the first block there for the start of our yellow tip nose. So we have our block here, and then a second top slab going forward, and then a bamboo trapdoor like so. Behind that, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, and 4 stone top slabs, and then 2 iron trapdoors to go ahead and form the center line of the aircraft. We're going to place down a stone top slab coming off this first one here, and then behind it, we're going to place down an upside down piston. Now, I would recommend the piston if you're on Java. If you're not on Java, I'd recommend probably just a stone full block instead of the piston. So again, depending on your version, go ahead and make those necessary changes. And then one more top slab that goes back from that piston. Same thing will be done over here on this side, and you'll change it to whatever you need to work with your versions that you're on. We're going to go ahead and place down 2 top slabs of stone like this, and then one more out to the side like that. So you're going to get basically a shape that looks like this here from the top-down view for our first layer so far. When that is all done, we're going to go and grab iron trapdoors, and we're going to build a iron trapdoor here, and then 2 right there, and then same thing over here, iron trapdoor, and then 2 like that. Then we're going to go ahead and take our iron trapdoors, and we're going to go ahead and build a row of 2, and then a second row of 2, and then 3, and then we're going to place down one more on the tip there for 4. So that's going to form basically the wing tip, and we're going to do the same thing over here. So we have 2, 2, and 2 3 times, and then one more that sticks out on the lean edge there. So basically that right there will look like that for the wings. And once that's all done, we're going to go ahead and then skip our way up here to the front of the aircraft. We're going to place down just a temporary block that's going to come off this bamboo trapdoor, and we're going to place down a dark oak fence gate to the sides of that block. And then we're going to go ahead and go down from that fence gate and place down one more. So that right there is just going to basically create our start of our rotors here, or the propeller, I should say, would be the proper term. And if you are in Java, we'll also use our debug stick here. We'll left click this trap or this fence gate till we have selected in wall false. We're going to go and right click this, set this to true. So it's going to bring it down a little bit and just kind of brings these a little bit closer together. Just again, a small little quality of life thing for you if you're on Java. With that all done though, that's going to wrap up everything we have there for layer number 1 of the build. Again, here's a top-down view of what that should look like, and with that we'll be moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 2. Moving into our next layer, we will be going ahead and moving into layer number 2. For layer 2 to start with, on this trapdoor here, we are going to go ahead and place down a forgot to grab it here, but we're going to place down a yellow concrete block, and we're going to go ahead and then place down a cobbled deep slate block in my texture pack. I'd recommend, again, using polished deep slate if you are, again, on the default texture pack. We're going to go ahead and place down a polished blackstone button on the very tip there of the nose like that. Going back from this yellow concrete, we're going to place down 2 more additional blocks, and on this third block here, we're going to place down a bamboo trapdoor to both sides. We also want to go ahead and take item frames. We're going to place down 2 item frames on these yellow concrete blocks. Again, they're invisible for me here. And then we're going to place down beds, black beds in those item frames and rotate them so the pillow is facing forward. And if you're on Java, we're going to go ahead and also place down a polished blackstone button on the side of this block. That just kind of helps hide the white of the bed a little bit more and just makes it look a little bit more accurate to what we're trying to represent there. So that right there on both sides. And again, you'll be using regular item frames if you're not on Java, and you'll bypass the buttons again if you're not on Java. Once that's all done there, we're going to be going ahead and grabbing this block here, which is dead brain coral. And we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 dead brain coral blocks down the center here. And we're also going to go ahead and grab ourselves iron trapdoors. And we're going to place down iron trapdoors on the side of these blocks. And then we'll use our debug stick here to basically close these trapdoors. So set them open to true. Again, if you're not on Java and don't have access to debug stick, instead of doing the iron trapdoors, you can use birchwood trapdoors, or really just kind of disregard these 3 trapdoors altogether on the sides. They're not super necessary, but just designed there to show a little bit more width around the tip of the nose here. Once that's all done, we're going to go ahead and then grab ourselves some dark oak wood signs, and we're going to place them on both sides of the third dead brain coral block here, so past the iron trapdoors, so it's going to sit right there. And then we're going to place down another yellow concrete block, and we're going to go ahead and then place down 2 upside down pistons here. Instead of the pistons, I'd probably recommend placing down a stone upside down stair here, so, or rather just a stone full block and a stone top slab would be a good alternative for this section here. Anyways though, after we have those pistons placed and not broken like that, we're going to place down a top slab going back like that to go ahead and finish it off. And once that's done, that's it for the fuselage. Moving into the wings, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves some gray carpet. Some light gray carpet. We're going to need some iron trapdoors, and also some dark oak trapdoors, as well as some daylight detectors and a flower pot. Now for the wings here, pretty straightforward stuff. We're going to place down a light gray carpet on top of this slab here. And we're going to go ahead and then place down 2 gray carpet back, 1 gray carpet there in that corner space, and then 2 more gray carpet right here on this side. We'll then place down an iron trapdoor, and then a second iron trapdoor diagonal of it. We're going to place down 2 dark oak trapdoors, and then another 2 like this, and then 2 daylight detectors. We're going to turn those to the night mode, so that light bluish gray, and then a flower pot that's going to be over the space like that. And that's going to be the tip of the wing, and really the whole wing in general. And we're just going to copy the same design we did over there on that side over to this side. So I'm going to do this one a little bit quicker. But yeah, it's going to be the same thing here on both sides. Nothing too fancy about it. So that right there is going to finish off what we have for that, and just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything and everything seems good to go. So here is a top-down view of what everything should look like with this layer complete. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, layer number 3. Moving on to our next layer, we have layer number 3. For layer 3, to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a bamboo trapdoor here, then a daylight detector behind it. Make sure you close that trapdoor if it opens up on you. Then another bamboo slab, and this is going to have an item frame to both sides with a yellow stained glass block in the item frame. If you're on Java, we're going to go ahead and build a block out from the side there of that item frame, and we're going to place down a bamboo button on the sides of these blocks, and then we're going to take our debug stick here, and we're going to go and rotate this around till it comes off the side of the bamboo slab, and that right there is going to finish it off. So it's just going to create this little detail here, these little humps that are located on the sides here of the fuselage. Behind that, we're going to place down a cobbled deep slate or polished deep slate, whatever you're using for your texture pack, and then 2 more nether brick full blocks back from that. We'll take some stone buttons here, and we're going to place down stone buttons on the sides, top, and the other side here of those nether brick blocks. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and then place down another deep slate full block here, And then behind that, we're going to place down a piston. An alternative to the piston here would probably be to place down another deep slate full block. So again, place down the piston if you're on Java, and if not, use a full block. We're going to go then place down an item frame to both sides of that block. And in that item frame, we're going to place down white concrete and just kind of rotate like this. So create some sort of logo there on the side of the aircraft. And then after that is done there, we're going to place down a second piston, which in this case right here, I would probably recommend putting a stair. So we would have a stair with the base right here in the back like that. So you have a stair there. And then we're going to place down another bamboo slab right here in this spot. And then a cobbled deep slate slab, which will then be followed up with a row of 2 of cobbled deep slate walls that are just going to go all the way back to the rear of the aircraft like so. And if you are on Java, we can actually extend the direction of the walls. So we can actually extend it forward like this and also extend it back for this rear one. So it just kind of fills in this whole space a little bit better. So you can definitely go ahead and do that if you want to. And then lastly, up here for the front, we're just going to place down 2 narrow brick fence posts that go up like this to go ahead and complete the propeller there on the front. With that though, that's going to wrap up everything we have here for this layer. Again, here's a top-down view of what that should look like. And with that, we'll be moving on to our last final layers. So moving into our last final layers, we have layers 4 and 5. For these layers to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to be going ahead and placing down a iron bar that's going to go on top of this block like this. And then we're going to go ahead and then grab ourselves some barrier blocks or structure blocks, whichever they're called on your version. And we're going to place down basically 4 of these blocks back. And we're going to go ahead and then place down stone buns on top of these blocks like that. You can also use chains here as an alternative, but this method here I think is a little bit better and more accurate to what it would look like. We're going to go ahead and then grab ourselves some gray stained glass and also some cobbled deep slate. We're going to place down a gray stained glass pane here and then a cobbled deep slate wall like this directly behind it. And that's going to create our vertical stabilizer. Then lastly, we're going to go ahead and take ourselves some iron trap doors. And we're going to place down an iron trap door here on both sides of this forward deep slate wall. And then we're going to go ahead and place and skip this space here. And then place down one more. So it'll look something kind of like that there. We're also going to go ahead and grab a lever. And we're going to place down a lever here on the side of this block. So if you're able to, an alternative to this as well would be to use fence gates. So let me go ahead and grab these real quick. I'd probably use birchwood fence gates. But you can place down fence gates like this, kind of lean up to that section. So that's an alternative. But for my Java players, we'll place down a lever on the side of this block here. And we're also going to place down a lever that is going to be upside down. We'll just go ahead and adjust this here real quick. And we're going to have this basically facing upside down up on top here. And we're going to place down gray carpet like this. And some light gray carpet on the inside on this left side. So we have basically 2 dark gray, light gray. So that kind of creates that design there for the left side. And over here on the right side, you'll either have your fence gates again, or we're just going to do the same thing here with the levers. So again, just like that. And this time we're going to do light gray, dark gray, and light gray. So kind of switch up a little bit there for the camouflage. And once you have that all done right there, that's going to pretty much wrap that up. And we'll then take our debug stick, and we're just going to go ahead and right click these 2 pistons here, get rid of that wood portion. Just like that, and also up here in the front as well, we're going to do the same thing for those bottom pistons there. Now, when it gets to this section right here, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to make this banner real quick. So you can see it's that German iron cross. Pretty simple to do. I'm going to go ahead and grab materials, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to make it. All right, guys, so going ahead and moving into making that iron cross banner. For this, it's really straightforward stuff, but I'm going to modify it slightly from what I did over there just to kind of blend in a little bit better with the color palette for this build. But what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and go into our loom first. We're going to go ahead and place down our light gray banner. We're going to need 1 black die, 2 white die, 2 light gray die, and 1 gray die. We're going to place down our white die into the banner first. We're going to go ahead and do a line that goes vertically and a line that goes horizontally. So it's going to create this white cross here. We're going to put that banner back into the loom, and we're going to go ahead and place our black die, and we're going to go do the pre-made cross, which is going to create this design here. So you have a black cross with a white outline. We'll grab that again from the loom. We'll place our light gray die back into it. We're going to go ahead and do the border around it. So this border is going to go fully around it. It'll look like this. Then we're going to go do a line that goes horizontally across the bottom third. So make sure it's this third option So it's going to be it's not going to be splitting the banner directly in half. It's going to be right below that. So that's going to go on the bottom there. And then on the top, we're going to go and take our gray dye, and we're going to do the same thing, but with our gray dye. So what you're going to do is you're going to get that darker gray color on the top, which I think was going to blend a lot better with what we have going on here with our color palette. So as you can see, we have that gray line across the top there. I think it works pretty good for what we're trying to do, and everything like that. For my Java players, we'll then take our debug stick here and just right-click those pistons like that, and you'll pretty much be good to go. So with that right there, that's going to wrap up my tutorial here for the Bf-109 G6 fighter. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this design and are able to put it to good use. If you do end up using this build, I do ask that you guys give me proper credit for it. That can be anything from a sign on the build to a link to my channel or this video if this does appear on any social media sites. As long as you guys give me credit for it, you're free to use it for projects you guys are working on. With that though, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Garrett254, and I'll see you guys next time.